Hey everyone, Xret here, hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the 9.2.5 Resto Shaman Mythic Plus guide. I'm here to show you how to play Resto Shaman perfectly. My highest radar score as a Resto Shaman is 3.5k this season. I could go higher, but the team eventually stopped pushing. If you're watching, please do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you find this guide helpful. You can see some of my highest keys done this season in my channel. They'll also be suggested to you at the end of this video. So no more interrupts, let's get started. Starting by pros and cons of playing Resto Shaman, you have the potential of healing someone from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, and that's what makes the spec super easy to play for newcomers. You also have the permanent defensive toolkit to save teammates from dying to simple boss mechanics in higher keys by healing them, since it increases the HP by 10%. You have slow, stun, interrupt, curse dispel, mana restoration, bloodlust, CC, strong defensive cooldowns, and great DPS potential as a healer. The only negative point I can name for Resto Shaman is running out of mana in boss fights, which may last longer than 5 or 6 minutes, which I faced in super high keys. Fortunately, I have a solution for this issue, but I'll explain it later in this video, so better keep watching. Generally, as a Resto Shaman, you gotta ignore mastery, and at least 20% verse is a must-have, and a mixture of 20 to 30% haste and crit each. In order to deal more damage as restoration for boosting or carrying purposes, I suggest you to have more crit and verse rather than haste. But if you're willing to focus more on healing, anything between 25 to 30% haste and 17 to 23% crit works. I should also remind you that if you're going for super high keys like 25 plus or anything higher than that, you gotta have at least 30% verse. You can sacrifice your crit in order to get that much verse. In all of my Resto Shaman high key videos, I have 30 to 33% verse. Since the latest patch allowed us to play Mythic Plus in cross-faction, no one can deny playing Dwarf is the best choice for any class which is capable of not only the 2% critical bonus damage, but the Stone Form ability best fits Resto Shaman. If you've ever been to M plus 25 Fortified Theater of Pain, you can feel how dramatically playing Dwarf can help your healer with dispels and to mitigate the incoming damage. But since I do a lot of Mythic Plus carries, I've chosen Troll because of Berserking ability, which is way too OP for burst damage as Resto Shaman, and only playing Troll lets you to do high overall damage as a healer. Highest DPS I've ever done in M plus 15 is near 11.5k per second, which you can see in these screenshots. Legendaries are so simple. For better healing and higher keys, you gotta play Pre-Multide, and for dealing more damage, Deep Tremor is the best Lego you can go for. I must say that playing Deep Tremor is not that easy and requires you to have much experience playing this legendary, since you don't have any certain ability to control your pet, and most of the time if you don't know where to use the pet, it pulls and aggroes near mobs and packs, and sometimes it causes the mobs that do heavy damage abilities on tanks to eventually go crazy and melee attack DDs instead of the Earth Elemental or tank. So I won't suggest you to play this legendary if you're currently successfully doing high keys. It'll just ruin everything. BIS Trinkets for Resto Shamans are Unbound Changeling and Soli's Secret Technique. Choose versatility on Soli and critical on Unbound Changeling for higher keys, or crit on Soli for more damage. You can also choose Resonance Reservoir instead of Soli's Trinket for much more overall damage, which I wasn't lucky to get this season. Kyrian for sure is the only go-to covenant for Resto Shamans, but I also play Venthyr, Night Fae, or Necrolord if it's needed in lower keys. You got to play Force Light Soulbind because of this trait, which reduces your Vesper Totem's cooldown if used on multiple targets, and causes them to take periodic damage, which plays an important role in your damage meter. 2 potency conduits are required in this build. First one increases damage and healing effect of your Vesper Totem to its nearest target, and the second one causes your next 3 Healing Wave, Healing Surge, and Riptide to do much more healing after each Cloudburst Totem, which is so important in your healing rotation. The only finesse you're using is reducing cooldown of your Capacitor, Earthbind, Tremor Totem by 13 seconds. This conduit greatly synergies with your third row talent, which also reduces your Capacitor Totem's cooldown if used on multiple targets, 20 seconds max, meaning you can AoE stun the pack once every 37 seconds, which is too much to help the tank survive under heavy pressure or to cancel enemy casts. These are your best 3 endurance conduits. First one increases healing of your healing surge if cast on yourself, which synergies with the other potency conduit. Second one causes you to auto heal yourself for 5.5% of your HP every 10 seconds if you take any damage. Third one is your second defensive toolkit after Astral Shift, which causes your Earth Elemental to increase your HP by 38%. Hammer of Genesis also is an important trait that enhances you for the first 10 to 15 seconds of each combat, which can be combined and procced by Vesper Totem. You should never miss using Vesper Totem on multiple targets. That's one of the most important things when playing Resto Shaman. You should play same conduits in every other covenant. Choose Theotar, playing Venthyr, Emini in Necrolord, and Dreamweaver in Night Fae, and for sure replace Vesper potency with Covenant ability potency. Choose torrents for healing lure keys, meaning M plus 10 to 18. This also allows you to have more space and free time for dealing more damage. And choose undulation in hierarchies, since healing surge is the most valuable spell to spam when struggling to top teammates. Echo of Elements is the go-to talent in this row. It's just so strong, pick it without asking. I barely use the Spirit Wolf talent in Mythic Plus because I'm really good at dodging and changing positions. Static Charge is the best and my favorite choice here, but also there's possibility of choosing Earth Grab Totem in certain dungeons and affixes such as Plaguefall or Spiteful Wick. Ancestral Vigor is the best talent in this tier. I've already talked about it earlier. It puts a 10% buff on a friendly target each time you heal them. In hierarchies, you reach the point where some abilities can one-shot you. This talent lets you to save anyone from getting one-shot, and what you do is to simply heal them right before they're about to take the damage. Simple as it is. Nature's Guardian is my favorite one. It saves you once every 45 seconds when you drop below 35% and heals you for 20% of your HP. It saves you dozens of time when you're about to get one shot. You may also want to play Graceful Spirit for more mobility in specific phase mechanics, but as I said, I barely feel the urge to take mobility talents as Resto Shaman. Two next tier talents are always same and fixed: Cloudburst Totem, which is your main mini cooldown to heal up the party, and Ascendance, which should be popped when party is dropping below 40% or under heavy pressure. You can also precast Ascendance when you feel like someone will die from a channeling damage in 3 seconds or something like that, so you have to start healing before the first tick of the damage lands. Cloudburst Totem also will trigger Vigor and apply it on a party if you have the 4-piece tier set, because it'll autocast a free chain heal and any healing will increase their HP by 10%. First off, I must confess that I wasn't expecting Resto Shaman tier sets to be that strong, but it actually was. When you're reading the effects for the first time, you'll say it's not even worth to get the tier sets, but it actually helps you so much. Using your healing and mana totem will cause you to automatically cast Chain Heal, which procs both your conduit buff and vigor on party members' heal. Resto Shamans never hard cast Chain Heal in Mythic Plus before, but when you get the 4-piece, difference in your healing done is obviously shown in Details add-on. You'll see Chain Heal in the 3rd place of your healing done, and it's not small. It actually heals you a lot and helps your healing. So all of these were about the 4-piece. How about the 2-piece? 2-piece passive is also important. You just have to know how to get free stacks and spend them using your Cloudburst Totem. The easiest and fastest way to get a lot of stacks is to use your healing range, since it heals you a lot of times and each one can critically heal and get you free stacks. To make it clear and to use the most potential of Resto Shaman tier set, you must try to get 20 to 30 stacks of Chain Heal, then spend them using your Cloudburst. Not in a way that you always look for the minimum stack among your buffs, but you'll get used to do this automatically when you get experienced. Your two main abilities to heal in Mythic Plus will always be Riptide and Healing Surge. Use Riptide first to get Tidal Phase, then start casting Healing Surge to get advantage of critical buff on Healing Surge. You can also stack Tidal Waves 2 times before starting to spam Healing Surge. Also, if you line it up with your Undulation proc, it'll heal huge amount. Always try to spend your Riptide charges and keep them in cooldown rather than spamming Healing Surge. Don't forget to have Water Shield on yourself. You can set a Tell Me When or weakaura reminder for that. If you always have Water Shield up and use Mana Tide Totem almost on cooldown, you'll never run out of mana. You can also pop Mana Tide Totem when party needs a bit of healing, so the proc Chain Heal also heals the party, but not in high keys. You always have to save it for the serious circumstances. To start healing efficiently, use Cloudburst Totem, Riptide, Healing Surge spam until you have Riptide up again. You can recall Cloudburst if you need the saved healing amount, but don't do it early cause you usually need it later. You can also save Cloudburst to heal heavy party damage boss phases. One of your main healing cities is called Healing Tide Totem, which heals all party members at the same time. It also triggers Chain Heal, and this city is the one that you choose to use first rather than any other one. It can be used in a situation when you know the party is taking damage, and it will help you to keep them up. Your second important city will be Spirit Link Totem, which shares all HPs, which also autocasts a Chain Heal. Don't bother to use this city if you see someone gets injured nearly to death. Just drop the totem and you'll heal him up to 90% in blink of an eye. Ascendance is the last one I usually pop when I need extra healing. I always try to manage healing without Ascendance and will keep it for serious fights where I have nothing else but a strong city which turns the fight to our side by pressing a single button. If you can remember, I mentioned earlier that Resto Shamans may face mana issues when boss fights last long, and that's because of spamming Healing Surge, and the solution is to also have Healing Wave in your spells. You must use Healing Wave instead of Healing Surge till the point you feel someone or more than a person is about to die in a few seconds. You can also only use Healing Wave on Undulation procs instead of Healing Surge, and generally you won't run out of mana if you do the rotation perfectly, meaning not to keep Riptides and hardcasting Healing Surge. Use Riptide for healing when ready, then use Healing Wave rather than Healing Surge if no one's in danger or if you have Undulation proc, and that's it. Vesper Totem is the very first button you have to press when starting combat, since it helps you with tons of damage when doing your normal rotation. On single targets, you can precast Lava Burst, then chain global a flame shock to land a critical lava. Then spend your second lava burst charge and start spamming lightning bolt until lava burst is ready once again, or if it's procced. Generally, you gotta keep up the flame shock and put lava burst in higher priority than lightning bolts. Also, try not to use flame shock on cooldown, instead only reapply when there's only 4 or 5 seconds remaining till debuff falls off. On two targets, like the first boss in Mist of Eternal Scythe, it's almost same as single target rotation, but you have to use Chain Lightning instead of Lightning Bolt, and you must maintain the Flame Shock on both targets at the same time, so your Lava Burst procs double amount than single target. Another advice I can give on putting pressure on two targets at the same time is that you better keep a Lava Burst charge and prioritize Chain Lightning and Chain Global Lava Burst if it's procced while casting Chain Lightning. It may sound a bit confusing, but it actually matters. For 3 targets or more, just spam Chain Lightning. Keep in mind that you have to use Vesper Totem before doing any rotation. And for highest burst damage potential as Resto Shaman, you can pop Earth Elemental using Deep Tremor Legendary, Bloodlust, Berserking, Vesper Totem, and then rotation based on target numbers. So this was the Restoration Shaman guide. I've tried to mention everything. If I've forgotten something, feel free to ask in comments, I answer all of them. I'm also creating another video with the title of how to be a better Resto Shaman, which I'm trying to explain some tips and tricks you can do in Mythic Plus that makes a distinction between you and other healers. Hope this guide gives you hints to play better, but my best advice is to play and earn experience. You cannot learn something on paper in an hour. Have a good one.